I need to go on a 3.5-hour road trip and get one of the cars ready for that. The RAV4 would normally be the pick, but it lost 5th gear again, and I don't have the parts to fix that right now. Also, it doesn't have cruise, so it isn't fun to drive on the highway. I also have the Pulsar, but it's pretty snowed in right now. The choice after that is the Rabbit, and it's too scary for highway use, especially with these tires. I don't trust that. Then we have the wagon. It hasn't moved in a little bit and really needs an alignment. Let's get it running and take it and do the alignment. It drives pretty bad on the highway right now and shakes a lot. That's the key that only works as a fob. There's the proper one. It's pretty warm, but it wouldn't hurt to plug it in for a minute. And I've got a cord here going to the Rabbit. Now that strut is totally gone. Let's use that to hold it open. Lost part of my tripod thing. Now I need the battery from the Rabbit. While I'm in here, it's been a couple days since I've done the brakes. Let's see if the master cylinder is still full. It's not. When I left it, it was right above the full mark. Now we're down there to the minimum, and I see a lot of fluid leaking out of the master cylinder again. So it looks like I need a new one of those next Rock Auto order I do. That's not the car we're working on now, so I'll just leave that until later. I forgot I strapped it in, kind of. Let's see if this thing will start. It should. I'm gonna set this mic down here to capture some of the sound. Don't want to put it back there and get it all footed up. Okay, it's warm enough. The glow plug light will not stay on, so I feel like that's a bit of a lie. But we're going. The car is jacked up and ready to go. I wrote out this nice little sheet to help me with my alignment. So I'll want to measure the distance between the front end of the tires, like that would be the front of the car, and then the back. And then the difference between that will tell you your toe in or toe out. I'm going for about a 1/16 inch toe in, maybe even a little bit less, so it drives pretty straight on the highway. And then these measurements diagonally will tell you how straight your wheel is. I'm not too worried about that, as long as it's close enough that my signal lights will work. When I did the alignment on the RAV4 with this method, it came out driving very straight. Let's go with this and see how it goes. I'm going to start off with the measurements on the front. I normally go from the inside of that tire and then find a good spot to line up with on this one. This isn't as easy as on the RAV4 because it doesn't have nice vertical lines. So I'm going to pick this piece of tread and choose that inner bottom corner. We have between 51 and 13/16 and 7/8 inches. I'm going to call it 13/16. It's closer to that. Then I transfer that number into my little chart, if you want to call it. Move to the back and measure again. Try to keep it as level as possible. We get 52 3/4. I don't remember what my first measurement was. Let's go check that. I'll add that 52 3/4 in. And our first measurement was 51 13/16. So we're about an inch out. I need to bring each side in just under a 1/2 inch. By tightening the tie rod ends on both sides a little bit, you can see it took me a few tries, but I got it to 52 3/16 on the front and 52 1/4 on the back. That lines up to my 16th inch toe in that I wanted. Now it's time to check the diagonals. Again, this is a situation where you want to choose the same spot on either side when you're going. So So I'm going to try to go perfectly level across and then use the edge of this bottom line to line up with. The inner part is exactly 55 inches. And this side is between 54.5 and 54.75 inches. I'm holding the tape measure bad, but that's about what it is. The way to fix that is to move both of the wheels the same amount, the same direction. I did it again off camera, and it is 54.75 inches. So that's a 1/4 inch difference. To fix that problem, we would want to push the driver's side wheel out a little bit and the passenger side in. So you'd accomplish that by loosening this side off and tightening this side up. I'll give each one 2 turns. Well, 2 half turns. That's about what I can accomplish, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, I just gave each side 2 1/4 inch turns, so about a half turn. Pushed the driver's side out, pulled the passenger in, and that got me to 54 7/8 on both sides. This one was more precise than that, but they're both very accurate. That should keep my steering wheel centered. Now I just have to tighten up the lock nuts on the tie rod ends, and we should be good to go. Before I put the Jetta around back again for the night to park the RAV4 in here, I want to do something about this cap. It looks really nice, but it's hard to get on there. I'm going to try putting a different one on to see if that makes it easier. If not, it's a problem with this coolant bubble. And I've been messing around with different ones in the past, and this is the nicest one I have. I think I have one right here. Is there another one? Ooh, this is handy. Forgot I had this. I'm gonna set that there so I remember. I feel like I remember seeing one back here in this garbage pile. It's not garbage. It's good stuff. Well, I found one. I know I have more. I just don't remember where they are. Hopefully that loosened it up a little bit. Oh yeah. That's way better. Perfect. And it still locks on. A little dustier than this one, but that's alright. I'm going to drive the car around back and see if it still holds pressure. Open the garage and start it up. I love the sound of this thing. Easily my best sounding vehicle. Oh. I have those things behind the wheel so it wouldn't roll. That stopped me from rolling. I like everything about this car except the fact that the heat is terrible. I spent a lot of time trying to fix it with no luck. So I'm going to try to source one of those cheap Chinese diesel heaters. This is the one I decided to get. There was a $5 coupon, so I couldn't say no. And the shipping estimate was 2 days. That's faster than Amazon. Let's try that. Oh, somebody is parked like an absolute idiot in the alley. I don't know if we'll be able to get around them. Yeah, I'm gonna get stuck. I gotta go around the other way. It's hard to tell how the wheel feels just driving it around on this really slushy, snowy street. But it feels alright. Oh, kind of fallen into a rut. That must be where I was parked last time. Perfect. I'm not blocking the alleyway like a certain someone else is. Let's make sure the coolant system is still holding pressure. That line feels tight, as does that one. Oh yeah. That seems a lot better than my other cap. So we've made 2 upgrades tonight. An alignment and a better radiator cap. I'm gonna get that battery maintainer on here as well. I bought the same model that failed in one of my other videos when I was trying to charge up batteries. But I also have another version of this model that's even older than that one that I have always hooked up under the hood of the RAV4, and it still works. I did add a diode to it so that it can't discharge the battery when it's not plugged in, but it works. Keep this under here for now. Not going to leave it for long drives, but for now it'll be handy. Now, let's get this unit back in the garage. I've had much mail delivery in the past 2 days. This Rock Auto order came with a bunch of stuff for the Rabbit and extras, but I'm going to save that for the video on the Rabbit. Here's what I just ordered 2 days ago. Actually, not even 2 days ago. I ordered it Monday at like 9 p.m. and it's now Wednesday at 4:30. And I already have it. It is a diesel heater. I'm going to use that for heat in the Jetta. And also probably the Rabbit. Let's get some diesel in this thing and see if it works. I have a good use for some nasty diesel that came out of the Rabbit when I got it. I left myself a note to filter it, so I'll do that, somewhat. This funnel has a mesh in it. That'll be enough filtering for me. Oh, it looks good. Yeah, I didn't see any chunks come out of there. I finally got the unit going. You can hear the fuel pump clicking and the burners going, and I'm starting to feel a little bit of heat coming out of here. It's also starting to stink up the garage, so I need to shut it off and open up a door. I also need to pick up some more diesel and bring the Jetta around, so I'm going to do that right now. I'm back with the Jetta and a jerry can full of diesel. Let's get that out and put this in its place. There's a secret hiding underneath of this floor mat. A hole. I'm guessing that the person before me was running this car on vegetable oil, but that's perfect for me. I can run the exhaust out of there. I've decided that I don't like where that back hole is, so I'm going to recover it up and drill a new one over here. If I wanted to make this fit there, I'd have to get rid of my pullover thing and put it in a spot that just doesn't really work for me. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to drill through, hold it relatively straight, and try not to do that. See what that did. Oh yeah, that's where I need to go through. I'm going to want to go a few steps bigger so that I can fit the heat shield on it. And this isn't something that you generally want to be overly tight. I think I'm just going to send this all the way through. I should probably check if there's anything important down there. Okay, I cannot drill there. That seems to be an important spot. Looks to be right above the frame rail. So I'm just going to pretend I didn't drill that hole. And I'll move on. It needs to be about in line with that other one. Let's go underneath, see if I can see that light. Huh, there's where I left my other safety glasses. And there's the light. I think that should be a pretty good spot. The hole is now through. I don't like how much carpet is still here, so I'm going to cut some of that out. It might be a better idea to cut all the way through, because this is just basically cardboard. There we are. Send this through. Alright, let's get that exhaust pipe secured and put the heat shielding on it. I want to get rid of the most amount of flammable material that I can. There's also some sort of wetness in here, and I'm guessing it's either from an oil or fuel. So I'm going to clean that out too. Best way to clean out fuel or oil is with something else flammable. Brake cleaner. I taped the end of this so that it's smaller and I can push it through first. There we go. Now I'll just untape it. Almost have a complete square now. It's actually held in place pretty well. I don't trust that though, so I'm going to use this bungee cord to hold it in for now. Eventually I want to get some J-hooks or something and make some sort of mount that works like a battery tie down. But for now, this will work, just for testing at least. I'm beginning to think this isn't the best solution right now. Try to fill this up without spilling fuel all over the back of the car. I should probably use a smaller container to fill this up next time. We'll see how the heat works and test out the alignment that I did. Alright, the heat works really well. Too well, almost. I had to turn it right down. So that's good. Bad news is, the alignment is not right at all. It pulls really bad to the right. So I'm gonna have to figure out what that's all about. I wanna go to the back though and make sure nothing is burning, because it was smoking a little bit. I don't smell any of the smoke anymore, but let's just go see. You can see I have it on heat 1 right now, and it's pumping out heat. Nothing is smoking down there anymore either, so that's nice. Now I'm gonna see how many amps it draws when it's turned off, just for an idea. Because right now I just have it plugged into the car, so it's always on. So about 0.02 amps is what it draws. I've been field testing the heater in the Jetta for the past 2 days, and so far it's been pretty good. But there's one major change I want to make, and it involves this length of ducting. The length I bought here is 4-inch, and the length that comes out of the heater is 3-inch. The reason I didn't go with 3-inch, it's a lot more expensive. The bigger size is cheaper, I think, because it's just more common. So I also bought one of these. Could have 3D printed one, but that would have taken too much time, and this was $6, so I just bought it. Kind of expensive and a waste of money, but I wanted this to work now. The plan is to flip the heater around, fold down the back seat, and run this duct under the front seat, because the biggest problem I had is that my feet were staying kind of cold. And that'll be a big problem once it's -30. It'll probably get down to that again once more this year. And it's like -1 right now, so that problem will just get worse. I'm gonna start by unhooking this and trying to spin it around. I need to fold this seat down. This thing needs to come out for now, but I want to put it back in. I'm gonna use this chance to vacuum up all this mess that I made the other day, because I did not clean that up. Let's set the heater back in and see how it goes. It's also nicer having the diesel fill up right at the back. It was kind of annoying when I filled it up the rest of the way at the Costco station yesterday, climbing all the way into the car. Relatively stable. Good enough for now. I will use a hose clamp for this, because I want it to be easy to get off. Luckily, the seat goes in right here to work around the wheel well. That'll be perfect for getting this duct to sneak around the side and go underneath the driver's seat. In order to get that under the seat, I need to flatten that out so it'll go through though. Don't want to go too much. I'm gonna keep the end a decent oval. Let's see how that goes. So here's the plan to try, at least right now. I ratcheted the seat up like that, and then tucked the duct underneath. Then I ratcheted it back down, and it crushed the whole thing. But I still have an opening that's probably about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches if you count all the way down there. So there'll still be a decent amount of airflow through that, and it'll direct right along here. Especially with that smaller opening, it should be more of a straight line. So that might be what I'm after. I can't get under the seat at all because there's a beam that goes right across that enables this up and down action to work. Something else I'm considering doing is taking this screen off. It's just clipped on and is only run by 3 wires. Running a wire up to the front and mounting this so I can actually, right now it's not the end of the world to just turn my head and look at this since it's pointed forwards now and a lot easier to see. Something nice about this setup is that now I should be able to get my cover back on and actually pull it shut. Let's test that out right now. Okay, it's in. And it shuts. I'm gonna take the car for a test run right now because I want to go get something from the store anyways, so that'll be the perfect opportunity to see how this works. Just got back from the store and the heat worked very well. My feet stayed warm, didn't feel a bunch of hot air just staying in the back like I did before. So I really like this. Even with that end being really crushed, it still works well. And I ended up stopping at this new tool store that just opened. Didn't need these, but had to pick them up, especially these being on sale. They're the new Knipex Cobra ES pliers. They came out a few months ago, and I've been tempted to get them. With that sale price, I had to get them. They'll be very handy around here. Do you ever see a German car that the e-brake pulls that far out? Not normally, unless there's something wrong. Normally, they should only pull like this high or so. Here's where the problem lies. The e-brake cable is just right rusted away. There you can see the inside cable that does the pulling. And here, it's just all the plastic stuff. So I gotta cut that rusted crap out and see if I can replace that section with something. I need to see if I can get this piece off now without damaging that inner cable. I think the best technique is just trying to grab a piece and pull it and keep unraveling it. It would be a lot easier if this stuff wasn't all rusted out. But if that was the case, I don't think I'd be taking this off. I'm going to go inside the car and pull the e-brake, and we'll see what happens here. Yeah, it just pulls together tight. Between 4 and 9/16 and 4 and 5/8 of an inch. I think I'll go for something a little bit longer, just so I know it'll be good. I'm gonna go test fit this piece first, just to make sure. I need to take off about 1 blade's width from this. Looks like that was just under 1 blade's width. So I'm going to try just working it in the vise to get it to start bending like that. I need to stick something down there to stop this from rolling. This side is becoming a nicer U than the other side is. Take my hammer. Let's see how this thing hooks on here. This side's a little tight, so I have to bend that back out. And this side, I can just bend this piece over. Let's see if I can just tweak it with a screwdriver. There we go. Carefully crimp this over. Just trying to crimp the ends on tighter so that they don't pop over top of this piece. I'm gonna go test out the e-brake and see if it works now in the car. Oh yeah, that feels good now. Looking closer, not sure if you can see on camera, but it looks like the same thing's happening on the other side. So I'll have to fix that one as well. Let's do some rust check, flat black. Now that I have a system down, I got this one made a lot faster, and it looks somewhat nicer. Now it's in. Oh, that's interesting. I guess my gap is bigger than I expected. Let's go see if that works. Oh yeah. Now I can spray this. I just finished wrapping this whole section of cable in electrical tape. Then I had an idea. Wonder how well undercoating sticks to electrical tape. Sticks pretty well right now. I'll let that dry, then I'll hook this all back up. Here's something that's been annoying me since I got the car. So our return line here has it has 2 couplers in it. The feed line has another coupler here and one here. I'm guessing this was to do something with the vegetable oil they were running it on at one point. I'm sure that's what they were doing with it based on the old hole in the back. I have some extra line left over from the Rabbit, so I'm going to put that in. I'll also get some nice couplers out of the situation and a bunch of hose clamps. So that's always nice. Okay, this was 5/16 is on here right now. So I'll just use this chunk of 5/16. This side has a broken off metal clamp thing. Wow, that was really on there. You can kind of see the lines that are right pressed into the rubber. I'm just gonna run it along. Where do I want to run it? I think I'm gonna do a similar thing to what I did on the Rabbit and kind of take them up and around over here. I'll leave a little bit of extra so that I can move it around in the future if necessary, so I'll cut it right there. I see what their problem was, why they had to couple this, because this is a 3/8 inch line. This is a 5/16 here. So I'm going to leave this for now. I don't want to try to clamp a 3/8 inch hose on this and have it be too big and leak. That'll just cause fueling problems. So this one can stay. This situation can stay too, because this is the line that runs back to the tank. Somebody ran that after the fact, I guess. And then it gets adapted to a 3/8 inch line by the looks of it as well. At least I got rid of 2 of them from the return line. That's not too bad. And a bunch of free stuff. Everything should be good right now, so I'm going to take it for a drive and see if the alignment is how I want it, and I guess test the e-brake out further. And the fueling system, I'm going to start it up right now and make sure there are no leaks. I fixed the alignment one more time. I realized the reason it was out this time is because when I was doing the diagonals, when I flipped around, I got mixed up and measured the same wheel twice, so I thought it was good, and it wasn't. So I did it all again, retweaked everything. Now we should be good to go. So I'm going to test it out one more time. Now, as a surprise to absolutely no one, it needs to be fixed again. This is probably the worst I've had it so far. It drives decently straight on the highway, still pulls a little bit to the right, as it was doing before, but now the steering wheel is super crooked, turned to the right. So that means I have the wheels pointing that way too much. Time to fix it again. Since the alignment was so messed up, I decided to do what I would call a fresh start and measure from the tie rod end to the end of the threads. I did that on both sides and set them the same. Now that I have those the same, the wheels should be close to straight, if the rest of the car is straight. So now I can do my measurements and see how I am. This time, when I was setting the alignment, I spun the nut on the tie rods all the way out into the inner side, and then measured from that on both sides, matched that, and then made sure the tires were the same, and everything seems to line up and look straight now. So I'm thinking if those are straight, the car should be straight. So it's time for a quick test drive again. All right, that was the one. It drives pretty well now. Not perfect, but well. It pulls to the right still a little bit. It used to have a pretty bad vibration once you got to about 100 kilometers an hour. Before I started this video, it was pretty violent and not fun on the highway at all. And it was wearing out tires pretty quick. When I began this test of doing the alignment, it almost went away, but it was still there. This past test run, it was gone altogether. And it would stay on track pretty well. So I would say it's good enough now. I'm happy with that because the Jetta is probably my favorite car I have. It's fun, I like the diesel, I just like it in general. So now that it's back in good order, I'm happy with it. Because it was getting kind of annoying before with no heat, the alignment was bad, and the e-brake not working kind of took away from the car in general. And now that it's back, I'm pretty happy with that. A little bit muddy, but happy. So thanks for watching. That's the end of this one. A little bit muddy might be an understatement. I look like I was doing some trench warfare. This lettering was supposed to be white,